We are in the middle of the earnings season right now, with many of the REITs and non-REIT companies having already released their business updates or financial results for the quarter ended 30th June, and more companies will be doing so in the coming 2 weeks. CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust is the third and final CapitaLand REIT that I have in my investment portfolio to have released its financial results for the first half of the financial year 2024 this morning. In case you are wondering, the other two CapitaLand REITs and business trusts I have investments in are CapitaLand Ascenders REIT as well as CapitaLand India Trust. And you can find my video reviews of their latest financial results in the video description below. In today's video, you will find my review of CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust latest results in terms of its financial performance, portfolio occupancy and debt profile, as well as its distribution payout to unit holders. Let's get started. First, a quick introduction about the REIT for those of you who may be unfamiliar with it. Listed on the Singapore Exchange since July 2002, CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust, or CICT for short, is the country's first and largest REIT. The REIT invests in commercial properties used for retail and office purposes, and currently it has 21 properties in Singapore, 2 in Germany, as well as 3 in Australia, valued at 24.5 billion Singapore dollars. Looking at CICT's financial results reported for the first half of the financial year 2024, compared against that reported a year ago, I'm sure you will agree with me that it is a stable one and definitely within my expectations, considering the lack of new acquisition activities. The 2.2% increase in the REIT's gross revenue can be attributed to an improved performance from existing properties, partially offset by the absence of revenue contribution from Galileo due to the commencement of asset enhancement works from February 2024. I note that works are currently well underway and on track with target phase handover to a new tenant in the European Central Bank from the second half of 2025. As a result of a close to 6% decline in property operating expenses due to lower property management reimbursements under the new property management agreement, along with lower utilities expenses, net property income saw a higher percentage climb compared to its gross revenue at 5.4%. Finally, CICT's distributable income to unit holders was up by about 4%, contributed by a higher revenue and savings in expenses. However, this was partially offset by higher financing costs. Next, let us have a look at CICT's portfolio occupancy profile, where I will be reviewing the statistics reported for the current quarter by comparing with the statistics reported in the previous quarter 3 months ago. While there are slight dips in the occupancy rates of its office and integrated developments, but all of the 26 properties in the REIT's portfolio have an occupancy rate of above 90%, except for 2 of its office properties, namely Main Airport Center in Germany, which has an occupancy of 89.4%, and 100 Arthur Street in Australia, which has an occupancy of 74.8%. Also, a positive rental reversion of 9.3% and 15% were recorded for new and renewed leases for its retail and office properties, respectively, for the first half of the financial year 2024, which is a positive thing to note. Looking at the individual property types, the slight improvement in the occupancy rate of CICT's retail properties can be attributed to an increase in occupancy rates in CQ at Clarke Quay, the Atrium at Orchard, and Raffles City, Singapore. Occupancy rates of the REIT's office properties dipped slightly due to a slight decline in occupancy rates in Asia Square Tower 2 and Capital Tower in Singapore, Main Airport Center in Germany, and 100 Arthur Street in Australia. Finally, for its integrated development, the slight dip in occupancy rates can be attributed to a slight decline in occupancy rate of 101 to 103 Miller Street and Greenwood Plaza. Similar to how I have reviewed the REIT's portfolio occupancy profile in the previous slide, I will also be reviewing its debt profile by comparing the statistics reported in the current quarter against that reported in the previous quarter 3 months ago. 3 things to highlight here. Its aggregate leverage at 39.8% as at the end of the second quarter of the financial year 2024 is a healthy level and also a good distance away from the regulatory limit of 50% set by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, or MAS for short. Debt maturity over the years ahead, including the second half of the current financial year, is well staggered out, with an average of about 13 to 15% of borrowings due for refinancing each year. One minor concern to highlight is the REIT's interest coverage ratio, which has been gradually declining since the second quarter of the financial year 2021, when it stood at 4.3 times. Currently, it is at a low of just 3 times. It is something I am keeping a close watch on in the coming quarters ahead. The management of CICT declares a distribution payout to the unit holders on a half-yearly basis, once when they release their results for the first half of the financial year, and once when they release their results for the second half of the financial year. For the first half of the financial year 2024, a distribution payout of 5.43 cents per unit was declared, a 2.5% increase compared to last year. CICT is also one of the few Singapore listed REITs that have managed to record an improvement in its distribution payout this time round. If you are a unit holder of the REIT, do take note of the following dates on its distribution payout. With no acquisitions to note, improvements in the REIT's financial results can only come organically through rental escalations built into the tenants' contracts, as well as contributions from the properties after the completion of asset enhancement works. Hence, the single-digit percentage improvement in the financial results was pretty much within my expectations. Portfolio occupancy continued to remain at a very high level, where all but 2 of its properties have an occupancy rate of above 90%. Positive rental reversions for new and renewed leases for its retail and office properties are also recorded for the first half of the financial year 2024. Debt profile is also maintained at a very healthy level, with its aggregate leverage at slightly under 40%. Debt maturity is also well staggered out, with about 13 to 15% of borrowings due for refinancing each year over the next 6 years or so, including the second half of the current financial year 2024. Finally, CICT is also one of the few REITs that have recorded a year-on-year improvement in its distribution payout. With that, I have come to the end of my review of CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust latest results for the first half of the financial year 2024 released this morning. As always, I hope you have found this review useful. If you have, I would greatly appreciate it if you can give this video a like. Also, you may want to consider subscribing to this channel so you will not miss out on any future videos I will be posting. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again in the next video.